Okay, so here it goes. I saw a post that was, emphasizing to men that discipline is very important. Fighting off, the urges for porn or sugary foods, practicing drinking water, and no other drinks, and getting rest, going into the gym, things like of that nature. And it's the discipline that keeps you constantly growing, not so much happy, but it keeps you constantly growing. And then I was like, women too. And he said, you should do one for women. And I was like, okay. Now I stopped at 33, but I'm like, what disciplinary steps should women heed on their journey for growth and not necessarily happiness? I would definitely say, first things first is to fight your urge to do anything other than listen to your body. You need to start listening to your body first. You need to be commencing with your most high self first before you do anything. Because we are moved deeper on an unseen level than our counterparts, it's very important that we have a deeper relationship with that energy. So the first thing is having a disciplined relationship with your spiritual self, and then that will trickle down into who you talk to, what you eat, where you go, things of that nature. And you want to strengthen that by being consistent in your spiritual relationship with yourself. Now, a lot of us was raised to do things backwards, where we take care of other persons and then we take care of ourselves last. As you can see, that has not helped grow or strengthen anything other than cause people to say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to live differently now. Now, mind you, women just started having the ability to get their own bank accounts, their own houses in less than 100 years ago. And we've come up to speed on awareness very, very greatly. But the next thing besides having great spiritual awareness of yourself and of life is to embody your spiritual practice. That means you make practical application of all the spiritual lessons you've learned, looking back at your life and moving forward. You know what goals you have, you know what goals you want to create for yourself. Just do it. A lot of times we don't take accountability, especially in relationships with other people, because we feel like, oh, I'm just a girl, I'm imperfect. And being a woman or being a young girl, having an inner child does take time to, get to know, get disciplined, right? But then it's like once you become aware, you really don't have any more excuses to blame a different sex or gender or the system and things of that nature. At that point, you just have to take accountability for the fact that you have not embodied your higher self, your greatest version just yet. And then that's when you can go as well on a discovery with your spiritual self to how you can start embodying. How do you just do it? How do you get like Nike and just doing it? That means letting go of, bad cycle relationships that, although are comfortable, they keep you in chaos. That means also stop watching TV shows and listening to music that fuel the toxic behavior of unaccountability, and then listen to things that keep you more disciplined. Whether that is switching from Summer Walker to, some unknown new R&B artists that you love their music, and they're saying they're not talking about toxic relationship behaviors. They're talking about building oneself up, realizing that one has the power with the power of God to manifest whatever they want. And then listening to songs that talk about how they embody that, watching movies about how you embody that, being around people who embody that. And because we are sensitive beings, our environment are super, super important. Your environment has to include a place where you feel safe, okay? That means you have to practically make decisions based on what's good for you and your spiritual self. That means if you know spiritually you are not aligned with a group of people, family, friends, or whatever anymore, stop being there, stop going there. Now, if they haven't done nothing to make you feel like you need to completely cut them off, then understandable, it could be challenging or it could be difficult. However, this is SOS, okay? Save yourself. A man is not coming to save you, okay? A man is not coming to save women. Okay, women have to save women. And women saving women is not about hating men or torturing men for all the things men did to women. Women saving ourselves is about healing ourselves, healing each other so we can have healing communities for these men that we are still raising or giving birth to, whether it's in a relationship and you with somebody you're trying to guide and structure, or you're having a literal son yourself and you have to teach him to not repeat the ways of the older men. And we also teach through our example. We don't always have to speak and say every little thing. So this is where being a high priestess comes in, and you learn how to be quiet. You learn how to observe. You learn how to understand things better when you're just quiet. And a lot of people get offended when they tell women to be quiet and saying a woman should be able to use her voice. Yes, but a woman's greatest power is her silence. And it has nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with the fact that we are more sensitive to the unseen forces. The unseen forces do not speak English. Okay? We have to be able to translate that energy by being attuned and aware and making practical decisions, like stop texting somebody and or going or dating somebody if you only want low level energies from them, meaning you want security, you want confidence, and you want to be sexually satisfied, but you don't want to receive and take from this person. You don't want to really love them forever. You don't really want to talk to them for a long time. You don't really see the vision, and you don't trust them. Okay, you don't trust in them. Okay, and then on a higher level, you don't even see the vision of you being together. Okay, you too busy trying to play the field and trying to be like a man. That's not being a lady. That's not being a woman. Okay, this is not about society standards. It's just about being in the nature of what's available to you now that's going to protect you and help you build and strive for growth. Okay, and when a woman is secure, she is going to be happy. When she has consistency and discipline, she will definitely understand how much she does not require a man, but that a man has value when a valuable man enters her life. She will know the difference. Okay? And when we are single mothers and things like that, we are in our warrior mode. That's about using spirituality to practicalize. We have masculine energy. We have to use that. But the other side to that is when you see a man stepping in to be a man, you let go. Figure out your way of doing that, okay? If that means you taking things slow, or you need to take 3 deep breaths real quick before you allow yourself. And when you have a spiritual connection and is disciplined with you every single day, the chances of you being misled are cut down significantly. At this point, you only supposed to be fully aware, learning lessons, but you're embodying your spirituality, your spiritual practices. So you allow yourself to still make quote unquote mistakes, but you allow yourself to grow. You allow yourself to challenge yourself as well. You don't have to be so caught up and worried about what's the right thing to do in society or how to rebel against society, because the society is a system or a box that you keep putting yourself in that you're not even a part of. At any point, you could take yourself out of the system and create your own system. A matrix is a womb. All women have wombs. When women rise up and start being spiritually disciplined and practicalizing and embodying that spiritual practice to build a better life for themselves and the families and societies that they feel drawn to on a spiritual soul level, it will cause the men to fall in line and submit easier to the kind of society that creates balance. Because we are the initiators, we are first, we are the real leaders of everything. And because we've become so aware, now it's just about embodying. If you know better, do better. Okay, if you know better, stop leading men on, stop leading jobs on, stop trying to hog everything. Feminine energy is about sharing, and sharing is caring. Lift each other up, lift yourself up, lift your daughters up, lift your family up. And if they don't want it, keep it moving. Somewhere down the line or in the next life, they will figure that shit out. It is not your job to save everybody. It's your job to save yourself and be an example.